Hey guys, it's JC Chandler back again. Happy Friday. I hope that you had an amazing week and I hope you're looking forward to an amazing weekend. I am here to show you some stuff that I've been working on. It's kind of a revamp of some things that I've already shown you guys before, but this is with the newer fabric that I have on my website, and you've seen me do these bracelets before. Let me see. Got a bunch that I'm going to show you that I've done already in one form or another, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do today. I've squished them. They were all in a bag. Look at all these good and beautiful pieces. Now, you guys are probably saying, man, you still have those? I forgot to bring these to those markets that I went to. I can't believe I did that. Sometimes I keep the things that I create in one spot, and when I go to my events, I totally forget to bring them. But not all of these are things that I wanted to sell anyway, just different variations of fabric wrap bracelets. So let me show you what I got, and then I'll show you what they were used, what I used to create them. Now, I've seen many videos on YouTube creating this type of bracelet, but I think one of the folks that I liked seeing was Darlene with Jewelry by BDK, and she did one which was a variation of this. Now, hers looks way better than mine, but it was a fabric wrapped bracelet with wires, and then she put charms on it and all the stuff that I didn't take the time to do on this one, but I didn't want to duplicate anything because that's her style, right? We all have our own way of creating. I just wanted to create some fabric wrapped bracelets, and so that's what I did with these. This one I did on a tutorial. It was a live create along, right? And this is a button that I created. It was a button earring that I was working on then, and then I decided I wanted to have, instead of just a bracelet, I wanted to do something different, so I put the button on it, and then this had the same idea, and then I wrapped the buttons with some bling. And these, I know if I had taken them to the market, they would have sold. So these are going to go to the next market that I have scheduled, so I'm going to make sure I do not forget these. But this one is done with one of the fabrics that I got from Joann Fabrics. Man, if I was thinking, I would have got a whole lot more, but I'm not going out there to mess around with them people trying to get stuff. I think this is another Joann Fabric. This may be, I mean, all the fabrics that I got except for this one are from Joann or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So here's a couple of different more bracelets. Here's one. I decided to put some words on these, right? Like, I'm gonna have to do this one over or clean that or whatever. It's been sitting. That one's peeling off because of how I had it sitting, you know. So some of these are gonna get redone, and some of these are gonna make it out to the market with me, right? So here we go. We got all these beautiful bracelets that I have created. This one is the most recent one, and I'm gonna talk to you about that one in a minute. And then here's that. So you've seen these before. These are not new, but what I wanna show you what they were made out of, okay? So initially, these were made out of cardboard, right? Just kind of circled out. Let me bend these over. I'm not going to use these today. And what I normally will do is I'll open up one end, put some double-sided tape on the tip of this one, stick it in there like that, and then now I've got my bracelet blank, right? So that's one thing. And then this one, and I believe this one was made with some I just took a cutting board, plastic cutting board you can get from the Dollar Tree. I put some double-sided tape on it, and I wrapped the fabric around it. Put it around like that, and wrap the fabric around it. So that's how I made that. These are 2 options, right? 2 options. This one was made with cardboard. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use something totally different, right? Totally different. So let me put these away. And before I go any further, I want to say thank you to all the subscribers, every single one of you, and everybody that hits play on a regular basis. You guys make my heart so happy, and I really appreciate you guys. If you've been watching for a while and you haven't made the decision to subscribe, please do so. It's free. Just go ahead and click the subscribe button. And if you're not a part of the Facebook group, please click that link down below. It is waiting for you. All right, so here's a couple of other bracelets I did, very, very recent. This one, I believe I used cardboard, but what I decided to do before I did anything, and see, I tried to get a little fancy with the wire wrap. Again, in no way is this as good as previous ones I've seen, per the person that I have just mentioned. So I decided to wrap the, is this cardboard? I think it is cardboard with black fabric first, and then I took a strip. I don't know if you can see it. Took a strip of the denim fabric. But what I did was I took a strip, and as it started to shred, I didn't worry about it. So now we got an even funkier, more organic bracelet. So on the others, like this one, I used some tape. I'll show you how I did this one. I used some double-sided tape, and I folded in the sides, and we may do 2 bracelets. We may do 2 bracelets today. All right, so let me get the lighting a little bit better. See if I can do that, and then there we go. So this is one variation, and then after I finished wrapping the denim, I put some wire around it, but as I was wrapping, I decided to put some of my wood chips that I cut out after I painted them with metallic paint. So I don't think I did a video on this, but I can possibly, I don't know. It's just something that I was working on, and that's that one. So how did I do this one? Pretty much the basic is cardboard, and what I did was I put some double-sided tape on the fabric down the middle, and I pressed the fabric over the tape. That's one way, right? I'm probably gonna do this one today. Quite possibly gonna do this one today. So let me put that to the side. Now these were done with something totally different. Now initially I was like, I really want a thinner bracelet so that they can be thinner bangles, and so I took some fabric, cut them into really thin strips. I don't think I have anything as thin as this, and maybe I'll do something later, another video probably, and I think it was about as thin as this, right? And I wrapped it around, again letting the strings do what they do. So that's what I did with these. I wanted something this thin, but this isn't gonna hold up. Look at that cardboard, that wasn't gonna hold up. So I was like, what do I have? I don't know what I can use. And I didn't really think about the plastic here because I had found something else that we're gonna work with. And it is zip ties. I'm going to work with a zip tie to create, and that's what I did with these. And they hold their shape pretty darn good, nice and light, right? And you can make them the size that you want, right? These are perfect. If I don't cut these at all, for example, I'm not gonna close it up. They're gonna be way too big. See how big that is? So when you're making these, if you want to measure, maybe, you know, measure the size that you want. Like this one, I'm probably gonna want at this size, and I'm going to measure that out. It is, that's about 10 inches. All right, so I'm gonna see what I wanna do and see if 10 inches is going to work. Let me see. This is another way. Let me see how long that is. I'm using a ruler that is off camera. So this one is a little bit bigger than 10 inches, and that slides on like that. And then this one, I don't know what these were. This one's a little bit smaller. So this is a way that you can make different sizes really without even measuring, truthfully. All right, maybe just take a couple of these, and I only have one with me here right now. Let me pull a couple of them. Pull a couple of them. Now these are 100 pack 12-inch strips, right? Multi-purpose cable ties. That's all this is. Got this from Amazon, and you know, this will last forever. So that's where I have these, and I'm gonna pull 2 more. Now, as I always say to you guys, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I really don't. So if you have to hit pause and come back, please feel free to do so. And I appreciate you for clicking play, no matter how many times you got to do it. All right, so these are 12 inches. Now, you're gonna take some off when you cut this, and you're gonna take some off when you cut this. So let's see if I can make one like this. Where is my, I might have to recut some material. I didn't think about that. Do I already have some cut? Hold please, I'll be right back. Let's see, I'm sure I have some cut. I know I do. Let's see, it's probably already got tape on it. That's the only thing. All right, I got another one here. This is all I need. You don't need it to be this fat, right? And this is how thick. Initially, oops, sorry for the noise. Got a lot of stuff in my space. Initially, this is how thick I can't even find my ruler now. What happened? Oh, here it is. Initially, I had this cut this thick, all right? So across, it is about 1.5 inches, and lengthwise, this one's probably shorter than the one that I had for this one, but so we got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 40 inches. That's about right. About 40 inches long if you want to create this bracelet. And 1.5 inches wide. And that's roughly what I have here. And then I put double-sided tape on there. Now I have a video that shows how I put this on, etc., etc. It's just double-sided tape. Put it on down the middle, and what we'll do is on camera I'll show you how I get the sides bent down so we don't have any shredding. But for this one I'm not caring about the shredding on the edges. I want it to look more like this, right? And part of what I was going to do was wrap these with wire. Now, of course, this is a little too much, so I'll cut this off, right? But I don't want to call this boho. It's just, I mean, maybe that's what it is, but I just wanted to see what it would look like and how badly it would shred. And you can always cut it down, right? I put some Mod Podge on the end of this. On the outside, I coated it because I thought it was going to make it shine. but it didn't shine. But then I thought, I don't want it to shine, so I put a matte finish on it. All right, anyway, we're not making that. We're making these. So let me go ahead and finish what I was starting. So we got this. We got this. No double-sided tape needed for this, but this is what I want to do. So if you notice, with a zip tie, there's two sides. This is the side that it goes into, and this is the side that it goes out of. You don't want to put it in this way. It's not going to do anything. If I might prove myself wrong. Right, see? It won't lock if you put it in this way. You got to put it in this way. And those ridges right here will get locked inside there. You have used the zip tie before. I hope you have. If so, great. You know what I'm talking about. If not, I'm sorry. That's not this video. So let me get back to the bracelet. So one thing that I'm going to do is I like to get these ends off. It doesn't matter on the very beginning when you go inside the bracelet, but on the end, you want to make sure that if it's got a border on it, I get rid of it. Okay? So I'm getting this ready. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to tell you how long this one is. And if you have 12-inch long, I wouldn't get, if you get these zip ties, I wouldn't get anything less than 10 inches. Even 8 might work, but I don't know. Let me see how long an 8 one is. Get the longest one you can. It gives you flexibility. So here is an 8-inch one right here. You're not gonna get a wrist through there. It doesn't leave you room. That's 8 inches. That doesn't leave you room. Get a 12-inch or longer. Okay. Now, this is, let's measure this out. This is probably about 40 inches. Let me see. I'm gonna use the ruler that's off camera. Hold, please. So that is 22. This is 44 inches, okay? 44 inches. And it is just a little less than an inch wide. That doesn't matter really, but for me, for now, this is what I'm telling you. It's 3/4 of an inch wide and 44 inches long. If you want to recreate this. Now, what I'm going to do is, let me move this out of the way, move this out of the way, and I'm going to get my zip tie ready for me and what size I want. So I already know that it doesn't matter. Once I get it started, I can't pull it out. I've never tried it, but see, I can't pull it out. So make sure you know what you want to do. That's too big. It's up to you how many times. It's up to you. That's too big. And next time what I'll do is I'll measure how many inches I take off of the 12-inch. So here's a couple of things that you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to get this off, and then you're gonna have to cut it there. And then we'll measure it. So if I have it at this point, I may still need to cut it. Let me just go ahead and cut it here. And I'm gonna cut it here. That's a little big for me, but once we wrap it, it should give it a little less size. It'll make it a little bit smaller. And I'm not going to overlap these. I'm going to, let me see, did I leave this piece on? I did. I think I left this piece on. Whoops, I think I messed up. I might have overlapped these. Not sure, I don't remember now. Let me see. So this is overlapped just a bit. So let me get some tape, and it's probably going to be double-sided tape, which is going to serve two purposes. So bear with me here. I'm going to get the thinner roll, but you can use as thick as you want. And I'm going to overlap this just a teeny bit. And if you see these, this one has a little bit of a dention here, and I think that's where I did there. And I don't know that I did the same thing here, so we'll figure it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. I don't think I want to overlap them. I'm going to put the double-sided tape on the outside and on the inside. Yeah, I think I'm going to overlap them because I don't want that point there. I'm going to do it this way. This is how we do, guys. I forgot how I did this, so I'm kind of winging it right now. So I'm going to overlap this like that. Just a little bit, not a lot. I don't want it to be too small. And I'm going to release the outer portion of that and wrap this around so it'll stick. All right, so here's the tape. Going back down over here. And I'm gonna put another one on there right here. And I'm gonna wrap it around. I think last time I used a thicker double-sided tape. Let's see. Wrap it. Wrap. That didn't come out the way I wanted it at all. Okay. Okay, so what I decided to do, and I think that's what I did on the others, is I used masking tape to hold it together. And it's overlapped just a little bit, and right now it will go over my hand, but with the fabric it will be a little less big. So one of the things that we do, I'm gonna wrap it, and I'll be wrapping it at an angle. And this right here, this tape is too thin, so I'm gonna start it off using double-sided tape. Okay, so let me do that. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way. I'll put the thinner tape, since this is a thinner fabric. Put that on here. Varnish it down. Get this off. And then we're going to wrap this fabric around this zip tie. I like to start from the inside and give it a full wrap around. Let me do it this way. A full wrap around, and then I put it at an angle and bring it over. See how I've overlapped it? And then I pull it over, and I'm gonna do it again. Now, I've used up the tape. There's no more tape. Now all I'm doing is pulling snugly and wrapping, right? And sometimes on the others, I didn't worry about this being as flat on the others, but this time I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna focus on it being as flat as possible and see if that gives it a different look. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that, and I will be back. So what I'm noticing is my denim likes to shred more, and I don't care about that, and it's okay. So keeping it flat is just a little bit of a challenge. I think I'm a little too close on some of these, but it's up to you. It's organic. It is not to be perfect because it is handmade. We will have to get some of these threads off because I don't want it. I want it to be handmade and organic, but I don't want it to be sloppy. All right, so look what I've done. This is how it's wrapped, right? Very much like these. You can see the overlapping. So let me finish this. I'm not going to turn the camera off again. I'm just going to go ahead and finish it because I want you guys to see what's happening here. Now you want to hold this tight, right? I'm starting to feel it in my fingers, but hold it tight so it doesn't have a loose fit. You want it to be a snug fit to this. I'm not using glue. You can use glue if you want to. It's up to you, but I'm not using any glue right now. Not even sticky tape. I'm just wrapping. Because once we close it up, it's going to be sealed. Right? I'm going to wrap this until I finish with this material. And that means I'm going to go past my beginning mark. And I may be ending it somewhere else. Now, the fatter your base, the more fabric you use. If you think about it, right? This right here is thicker. So I would have probably only needed to wrap this one time if I was using this fabric. But this seems to be way more than I needed for this thin base. And that's okay. I think the extra fabric is going to give it a little more secure, firm feel to it. So, however you wrap this, that's how however you hold it. I'm right-handed. I like to hold it with my left hand. See how that's almost coming around? I don't want that. Okay. And we will get rid of a lot of these threads. I don't like all that. Not for what I want to do with this bracelet. All right, so what works best for me is twisting the bracelet and pulling the fabric through. Twisting the bracelet a couple of times and then pulling the fabric through at an angle. So I'm twisting the bracelet and pulling the fabric through. Twisting, pulling. And I think this is going to come right back to the beginning point, which is good. I didn't realize that. See, that's the beginning point. And this is how much we have left, so that's good. I think we could have got away with 40 inches, maybe even 36. But I already had this cut, so I didn't want to mess up and cut it too short. So here we go. Now, just because of the way that I wrapped the... Oh, my fingers are tired. Oh, I'm getting fatigued. Just because of the way that I wrapped or overlapped the zip tie in the beginning, there's a little bit of a knot, which can be taken as the top of the bracelet, however you want to do it. And if that's what you want to do, then I suggest coming back over it with your extra, which is what I'm doing now, coming back over it in the other direction and reinforcing it. Now, this is not going to end, it's going to end on the top, and I don't want it to end on the top. So I'm going to glue under here, right under here. And it's going to take some time to dry. So let me do, I think what I'll do before I end it permanently, I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the end of my fabric. Let me sit that down there so it won't move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do another one. This is just one way of doing something. You know, if you want to just do something different, right? Something different. That's all we're doing here. We're not reinventing the wheel. Somebody else has done this before. I am so positive. I don't know about the zip tie part, but Oops, this is not gonna come off. All right, I'll be back after I get it closed. So I decided to use my Titebond glue. I'm just gonna put some of that on here. And let it sit. I'm gonna, let me see. Can I make this wrap one more time? Nope. I'm gonna cut this down here. Right under here. And I'm gonna let that glue just grab on it. And I'm going to get rid of some of the strings. No precise rhythm to it. I'm just gonna cut some of the stragglers. And that is the fabric wrap bracelet with a zip tie. Right? So let me get that. I hope I didn't cut too deep in there. Let me get some of that. And if you want to, like I did with this one, I put some matte, what did I put? Matte, ultra matte Duraclear on here. Or maybe it was Mod Podge, I can't remember now. So let me get this up and see if I can clean up just a little bit to show you what I have done. So here is, this one is ready for some embellishment, right? Put some stuff on it, make it look more like a bangle with some charms if you want. Wrap it with some wire. Get some of these strings off if you like. This is the denim one, and this is how it fits. It's a little loose for me, but once you start putting more stuff on it, like that one's a little bit tighter. This one is a good fit. So there's those. I haven't trimmed this one off yet. So that is how you create a bangle or a wrapped bracelet, if you want to call it, with a zip tie. And then once you get enough of them made, they go by really, really quick. Once you get to wrapping, depending on the fabric you want to use and how thick you use it, this is what they'll come out to be. And this one I'm probably going to do the same way I did this one with cardboard. Right? I don't want to make it this thin. We'll see. I'm making more bracelets. Now, this right here, I think when you think about the strip of fabric, the number, you get 100 of these, even if this costs 10 cents, right? I mean, then you got a strip of fabric, maybe another 10 cents, and the glue, right? Or tape. So you haven't even put $1 into this bracelet. If you want to, you can sell it for $2, $3, $5, depending on what you do to it. If you dress it up, right, you can make it a $10 or $15 bracelet, depending on what you do to it, how many charms you put on it, right? Depends on what you do. Let me see, where's my bracelet with, there it is. Right? Put some charms on it, wrap it with wire, bling it out, and your 20 cents of investment plus your time. How long did it take us? 10 minutes to do this? Once you have everything cut, you can just make them in an assembly line, get them nice, and close that up and make yourself a bracelet. Cut that off, there it is. Yep. I think that is something that you could add to your portfolio. I always call it your creative portfolio, right? You know, and I have some fabrics that I'm getting ready to work with to create some more. Here's a couple more of them. I can't wait to see what these look like. So I've got these two. I've got some of the orange bling. I just showed you the red bling. So I'm ready to make quite a few, and I'm trying to make some colorful ones for the summer. And because they're so lightweight, spring and summer, sorry. And because they're so lightweight, you can make so many of these. And when you're going to your market, it doesn't take much. These will not lose their shape. Look at this. It's not gonna lose its shape, right? It's easy. Now these, the cardboard can tend to lose its shape, unfortunately. All right, this one, let's see, which one is made out of? This one's not made out of cardboard. It's made out of the plastic. Now I have kits for bracelet making. If you want, you can reach out to me, and I have these strips already cut out and taped with fabrics, variety of fabrics. If you want them, you can make this one. Let me know. I don't know, I haven't added the button because this was an experiment when I was doing it, but just let me know. Various fabrics, some already cut out plastic templates, and you know what? Just go get some zip ties and create them yourselves. All right, I'm so excited about these. I am so glad it's Friday. I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. I hope you have something really fun to look forward to this weekend. I went outside and walked in my backyard, and I'm gonna tell you, that pollen is real, okay? My ankles were covered. I think I put a picture up there. My ankles were covered. I was covered with pollen from my foot to above my ankles. Anyway, this is JC Chandler, and I hope you go and create something amazing. Have a great one. Bye.